The Aelito family has been thrown into sorrow following the murder of their 26-year-old daughter, Onyinye Echukwu, last Saturday by her ex-boyfriend in Lagos. The deceased, a sales girl at Alaba International Market, OO, was reportedly trailed by her ex-boyfriend, Ozitoman Anwar, from her Ibar new site abode to Ajangbadi area of Lagos, where she had gone to visit a friend. Crime Alert gathered that the late Onion, as she was fondly called, sat outside her host's compound, exchanging banters, without the slightest inkling that death lurked at the corner. Eyewitnesses said she turned and suddenly, the smile on her face disappeared. And when her host turned to the direction of her gaze, they discovered that her ex stood opposite them. Her host, who spoke on condition of anonymity, told Crime Alert that she greeted him but he hissed and walked away. He later came back and beckoned on her to come. She excused herself and left. Singular response. He paused at this juncture, quivering with fear. That singular response happened to be Onion's greatest undoing, because unknown to her, Ozito had a sinister motive up his sleeves. This was confirmed moments later, following a desperate shout for help from the isolated meeting point at number 45 Abiko Gunlano Close, at about 9 p.m. At first, no one suspected it could be Onion. But after waiting for a while, her host decided to check on her, only to see Onion in the pool of her own blood with a knife still thrust in her neck. From all indication, it was obvious that she tried to put up a struggle in order to free herself from the assailant's grip. She was also discovered to have managed to crawl from the isolated spot to an open area. But her strength apparently failed her midway, owing to much loss of blood. Unable to crawl further, she stopped, clutching firmly to the earth, as if rescue would spring out of it. Ozito, on the other hand, was nowhere to be found. Cause of breakup. Crime Alert gathered that before the incident, Ozito, a trader at Alaba International Market, had on several occasions threatened to leave an indelible mark on Onion for dumping him for another man. Investigation revealed that the duo had a romantic relationship that lasted for 6 years, a relationship that was to lead to marriage until Ozito allegedly raped Onion's younger sister. Family sources told Crime Alert that Onion's younger sister, names withheld, was sent to deliver a parcel to Ozito at his 80 Isiaka Street, Ibar new site 2 years ago. However, on reaching his apartment, he allegedly raped the teenager, who was barely 15 years old. It was gathered that the teenager never told anyone about the deed, until she was discovered to be pregnant. She gave birth about a year ago. Without further warning or advice, Onyinye Echukwu stopped seeing Ozito. But her action, as gathered, signaled the danger that eventually led to her sudden death, following threat from Ozito. Perhaps, had she listened to her parents, this tragedy might not have befallen her. It was gathered that right from the onset, Onion's parents kicked against her relationship with 36-year-old Ozito, who hails from Makia village in Obaru local government area of Anambra State. Her devastated father, Mr. Aelito, offered an explanation to the family's stance. "My daughter came back home one fateful day with razor marks all over her body, and when I asked what happened, she told me that she fell down. But we were later informed by a friend of hers that her boyfriend, Ozito, inflicted the marks on her. I warned her severally to abstain from Ozito and every other man who would go to the extent of inflicting such injury on her, men who would not respect her as a woman." It was also gathered that Ozito had on several occasions beat Onion publicly, for calling off the relationship, only to start off with another man, boasting that if he could not have her, nobody else would.